Welcome to Be Still and Notice, a yoga podcast. Join me, your host, yoga and meditation instructor Helen Taylor, to dive deeply into the vast ocean of wisdom that is yoga. Explore with me how these ancient practices can help heal and elevate us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in an ultra-modern world. Together, we'll deepen our practice, explore our connection to divinity and our own inner landscapes with the help of special guests, guided meditations, how-tos, and oh, so much more. Yoga has the incredible power to change your life on every level, and it all begins with stillness. Now let's begin. Hi everyone and welcome. We are in season 3. Woohoo! I am so excited. I'm really excited to be here. And this little episode is basically just a roundup of how far we've come, where I am at the moment, what's going on in the podcast, what's to come, and just general musings on life, what's whirling around in the ether for me at the moment, and ideas about upcoming guests and episodes. So thank you so much for being here. I really hope you enjoy this one, and it's so exciting that we've made it this far. We are going to keep going. So as always, sit down, have a nice cup of tea ready, biscuit, whatever you fancy, and enjoy. Hi everyone and welcome. Welcome to season 3 of Be Still and Notice. And it's really worth taking a moment to just pause here and celebrate. I want to celebrate this achievement. 30 episodes. I've just Googled it and discovered that 90%, I'm going to read it to you, 90% of all podcasts never make it past episode 3. Only about 8% to 10% of shows manage to release their 10th episode. And of the people that successfully make it past the initial hurdles, another 90% stop before reaching 20 to 21 episodes. So this is something to be really, really proud of. And I want to say a massive thank you to all of you who make this possible, and to all of my lovely guests, my friends, my teachers, my guests that have so far come on the show, for really being very generous with your time. It takes time, it takes planning, generous with your voices. I am so grateful to everyone, you know who you are, the people that have supported me along the way. And I'm really chuffed to be here, and we're going to keep going because I really love doing this podcast, and I feel like there's plenty of space for the conversations that we're having. So in this episode, I just want to have a little pause, talk about how far we've come, what I hope is coming next, where I am at the moment, and just have a little review really. So I'm sat in my yoga room, and this episode was meant to come out to you last week, but here in the UK we had another heat wave. And when I say heat wave, it got to about 36, which you go, yeah, that's kind of pretty average for most European countries, you know, Greece, Italy, Spain, south of France. And that's true. And when I go away on holiday, I love that kind of heat. But the difference is that the buildings are made for it. Everyone has aircon, and you often are near the sea or near a swimming pool to cool down. And also the day-to-day life, in these countries is a totally different rhythm. People get up early and then they have a break in the middle of the day, siesta, which has always made so much sense to me. And then, things carry on later into the night when it's cooler. And we don't have any of those things in the UK. Like literally, this room where I like to record my podcast, my yoga room, was 31 degrees inside most of last week. And just being in the house was like sitting in a pool of sweat. I had fans. I experimented with keeping everything closed and the windows closed and the curtains closed, but it reached, which helped. But then it reached a point where it just kind of reached peak heat, and then it was getting hotter inside than out, and then you open everything up. Anyway, I experimented with all the ways, quite scientifically, to try and keep my doggies and my house cool. But I live in a 1930s single brick. I don't think there's any insulation in this house because it's very cold in the winter. Anyway, suffice to say, I did not have the energy or capacity last week to record this episode, so apologies for that, but here I am. And it's a milestone. It feels like a really big achievement, and one that I'm really, really proud of. And we've had some really fabulous conversations. When I look through the episodes, recently we had my lovely friend and Yin Yoga Nidra and pregnancy, prenatal and postnatal yoga teacher Vic William, who lives in Spain and teaches in Spain, all about embracing the feminine. We talked about sex and the state of the world. In that episode, I was looking at how yoga teachers have become quite sexualized and in the West, and the problem that creates. We talked about, I'm looking through the episodes now, holding yourself in love, how yoga can help us create our own sense of safety. Now, this is really important because from this episode and my own practice, I have developed my signature yoga program, which is called Hold Yourself. And I'm going to be coming back to that in a moment. We've talked about burnout. We've talked about the holistic and healing powers of Ayurveda and functional medicine with my lovely friend and Ayurvedic doctor Garima Pandey. She's going to be coming back on very soon, I hope. She's just got a little bit snowed down with updating a new website, and she's moved to a new practice. So she's knee deep in work, but as soon as I can get her back on, it's going to be great. We have so much more to talk about. We've talked about my lovely teacher Katya, who I'm doing a retreat. We're doing our first yoga retreat together next June in the Lake District. So if you're in the UK, even if you're not, you want to join us, it's going to be a beautiful 3 days. It's going to be called A Sacred Pause, and this is all around summer solstice. It's in the few days leading up to the solstice, and it's going to be beautiful. Walking, yoga, chanting, kirtan, meditation, and just time and space to pause, reflect, look how far you've come and where you want to go and what you want to do next. And exploring why pausing is so vital in our practice, in our life, and just everyday life. So Katya has been just she's a lovely friend of mine now as well. She has been instrumental in most of my yoga learning, although I've had several teachers, as you know, over the years. But we've done a few episodes together. We did the mega one all about the 8 limbs of yoga. Now that was epic, kind of 3 or 4 episodes. And I think I'd like to go in this next season. I would like to do more about what's going on in the scriptures, about the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, a little bit about Tantra, and really why it's important to, I was going to use the word study, but you can just read the translations of these books. There's so many beautiful commentaries that really just explain them beautifully and simply in a really accessible way. So you don't need to go full on scholarly study mode, but they really do create a really important backdrop to our practice, and all of the spiritual commentary, if you like, the spiritual deeper meanings behind everything. And I think certainly if you've been practicing for a few years and you feel called to, I'm going to do an episode on where to begin and what to start reading, just as suggestions, because it can seem quite daunting. Some of these scriptures are just absolutely epic, and like the Ramayana, for instance, and you'd be like, oh my God, where do I even begin? So we're going to break that down, and I'm going to give you some tips on where to begin with different reading, different books, and why they're an important part of our practice if you want to go deeper. If you don't, absolutely no need to. But if you do, and if you're listening to this, I think you do, then yeah, it's really a wealth of wisdom and knowledge and depth. Really, really good. So we talked about death and loss, what it means to retreat, the yamas and niyamas, the importance of rest, the basics of the nervous system. Yoga is a transformative energy tool. Meditation as a portal to the self. The power of silence. Why meditation isn't about clearing the mind. We've done some guided meditations together. That's something that I want to do and will be doing more of. And why being inflexible should never be a barrier to yoga. That was a really big one for me, actually. Yoga as an act of courage. What is yoga? That's the episode that has had the most downloads, which I think is really, really interesting. I'm not here for thousands of downloads. I am here just as a platform for sharing, really, and having deeper conversations, really. And if I help or inspire or motivate or encourage or provide depth into a subject for even just one person, then I have totally achieved my goal. And it does exactly all of those things for me at the same time. So we've come this far. It took me several years to get this podcast going. I never do anything quickly, by the way. If you know me, I am not someone that rushes. I am the snail. Slow and steady wins the race, which I know some people get frustrated with me about, but it's just my pace. I have made peace with it, and it's just the way I am. It takes me a long time to, not always, but with most things, it does take me a long time to get everything together. And it's the way I learn, it's the way I assimilate. But once I get started, I can then have more, I tend to have more staying power. Once I've really decided that this is something that I need and want to do, something that's good for me, something that I can do, something that other people will find useful and get benefit from, then it keeps going. So yeah, it took me a while to get this started, and I'm so glad that I did, and thank you for everyone that encouraged me to do so. So where am I now, and what's coming next? So personally, I am in a really good space at the moment. I'm feeling really good. I've had some really big shifts recently, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. Really big shifts. Things are changing for the positive. Old storylines that I've been telling myself for a long time, old conditioning is starting to lift. And I'm really giving myself grace, space, and time for that. So I feel incredibly grateful for all of those things for happening. And I'm also proud of myself for ploughing through and giving myself enough grace, because so much has happened in my personal life in the last few years that it would have been very easy just to crumble. And as I've said to you before, yoga has been my north star, and it continues to be, and it's just growing stronger and stronger and stronger. And the beauty about it is that you can grow and change with it, and it grows and changes with you. So, you know, my practice is entirely different from how it was even 3 years ago. So there are so many positive, lots of good things happening at the moment. So I have just opened my second round of Hold Yourself that I mentioned a few moments ago. So Hold Yourself is my 12-week one-to-one online yoga and coaching program. It's something, again, that I'm really, really proud of, and you'll hear me talking about a bit more. And in the first round, the clients, the ladies that are with me, we're about halfway through now, are already seeing incredible results. Incredible. One particular lady who has suffered a mild stroke in the past, and she struggles with anxiety, and she told me her blood pressure has just kind of halved. It's really, really, that's Taka coming in with his little claws. Hi, Daisy. It's already changing. Her physiology is already changing. But more than that, she's just feeling very different, very calm. And it's showing much less reactive. And what's super encouraging is, for me, I've been listening to a few, I love podcasts as well. I'm a massive podcast listener. So I like to listen to all sorts of podcasts on well-being, different well-being modalities, spirituality, philosophy, psychology, therapy, Esther Perel, lots of... the most recent one that I listened to was a podcast called Know Thyself. That's a new one for me. Rich Roll is an old favourite, although I struggle with him a little bit at the moment, because I think sometimes he talks a little bit too much. Sorry, Rich. But I do really like, he has some fantastic guests. And I'm not just saying this. Nearly all of the podcasts I've listened to recently about psychological growth and healing in all its forms. So mental health wellness, let's use that term. Mental health fitness, personal and self-growth. They're all about becoming a healthier, better version of yourself. Let's just say that. All of them, we're talking about neuroscientists, particularly psychologists, psychotherapists, counsellors, biologists, doctors, functional medicine doctors, all sorts of people. They are citing yogic methods, not directionally, not directly, but they are, when they talk about what you need to do to relieve stress, to be in tune with your body, to be in tune with your mind, to connect deeper to yourself, then it all begins with self-awareness, breathing, paying attention, and connecting to your body, presence. I'm not joking. The last episode I listened to, Know Thyself, was with a neuroscientist and a South African lady whose name I can't remember. And I'll pop it in the show notes for you, but she talks very quickly, and she's obviously an incredibly intelligent lady. And her program that she developed for people learning so it was all about neuroplasticity and how people with depression or PTSD or any kind of mental health issue, negative mental health issue, can rewire their minds. And her program was like a 5-step program, and it was essentially exactly what we do in Hold Yourself. It's exactly what we do in yoga. And it was so reaffirming. Science is really, really catching up. And in that episode, she talked about how the discoveries that for the last 40, 50 years, they've been trying to discover where consciousness is located for human beings. They've been studying the mind and the brain, and it's a really good episode because she distinguishes between the mind and the brain. And this is, I really want to delve deeper into consciousness and talk more around that in some upcoming episodes. But really, it's kind of above my mind. I need to get a neuroscientist on here, if I can even say it, to talk to us about it. But it's something that I am absolutely fascinated with. And she distinguishes between the mind, the brain, and consciousness, which yoga does as well. So we've got a lot to explore here. And yeah, her program was she was saying that for the last 40, 50 years, scientists have been trying to discover the origin of consciousness, and they have made new breakthroughs recently, that the origin of consciousness is not within the human body. It is from an external source, and the mind receives signals from an external outside source. Hello. Hello. And this is incredible. I think one of the things that's on my mind at the moment, one of the things that's on my mind at the moment is the way we are living at the moment. We're living in a science fiction era. I mean, I remember going to see The Matrix at the movies in 1999 and being blown away. and like, oh my God, this is incredible. And I literally feel almost like we're living in the Matrix now. I mean, I studied the Matrix for my dissertation at art school, dystopian, postmodern film, and it absolutely fascinated me. And the themes within it are just really all about spirituality and consciousness, as well as many, many other things. So what's on my mind a lot at the moment is that we are living in this era of like such fast-paced change. AI is now absolutely everywhere. A year ago it was quite different. AI is now absolutely everywhere. You can't escape it. It's very hard to. It's there on your phone, where you look, on the telly. It's even in the art space. It's in music. I mean, it's just invaded everything, and we have allowed it to, and that terrifies me. And I will be talking about that in another podcast. On the flip side, and of course, our attention is being stolen and absolutely ravaged and raped by these little black boxes that we carry around with us that we're totally addicted to, me included, although I'm working hard and I'm very boundaried with it. I'm getting even more boundaried with my phone by the day, actually. So we've got AI, we've got our attention is absolutely being ripped apart by our phones, social media, all these apps, everything. And yet on the other side of technology and its advances, we're discovering so many incredible things about our living world, about our own bodies. We know more about our bodies now than we have ever done before. We know more about the brain. We know more about our natural world. And a book that I'm reading right at the moment, which is one I bought last year and I've only just got around to starting it, is called The Light Eaters. A lady that I went on retreat with suggested I read it, and thank you so much. Zoe Schlanger has written this, and it's called The Light Eaters, How the New Science of Plant Intelligence Expands Our View of Life on Earth. And it's written by a journalist, and her writing is absolutely stunning, because I'm not very good at reading scientific books. But her writing is so descriptive and rich and luscious, and it really works with the subject of plants. And as you all know, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I just adore plants. And this book is affirming everything I ever thought. I have always talked to my plants. When they have a new leaf, my big monstera in my bedroom has just had a new leaf. I even kissed it this morning. Call me a weirdo, but I'm like, hi, welcome. How are you? You're beautiful. This book is showing and explains really beautifully how this materialist scientific view. I have a real problem with materialist science. It's too black and white. And yes, I know all the reasons why it needs to be, but for me it's way too rigid. I think it's the good part about it and the very, very bad part about it. And in the beginning of the book, she talks about, how people basically used to think that animals were automatons, that they had no consciousness, that they could not feel pain. She even mentioned how I can barely say this out loud, but how they would do live vivisection on dogs live without any pain because they didn't think they could experience pain. Now, what kind of an idiot thinks that another living, breathing animal can't feel pain. I'm sorry. But that's what people thought. Not everyone, but in certain scientific communities, that's what they thought. And so look at where we are now. We know animals have personality, they have soul, they are exactly like us in many, many ways. And I feel the same about plants, by the way. And you might be listening to me going, Helen, that's absolute rubbish because they haven't proved X, Y, and Z, but they are. They are proving that that plants communicate. They have autonomy. They have a sense of smell. They remember things. I mean, read this book if you're interested at all in plants and consciousness. This book is amazing. Again, I'll put it in the show notes because it's blowing my mind. And I've not got to a section where it mentions pain, but I am now thinking about how if plants, it would make perfect sense if plants could experience pain. They show that when they are in distress, as in they've done lots of experiments where they basically torture plants by depriving them of water or cutting a leaf or whatever. The plants emit these very, very high frequency sounds that we are beyond our hearing. But they can use special microphones that detect these frequencies, and basically the plant is screaming. And it's telling plants around it that it's in distress. So now, before I go out into the garden and cut my grass, again in the book it says that the smell of cut grass is basically the olfactory, so the fragrant version of a plant's scream. Now I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to cut my grass. I don't want to hurt you. So it's opening up the season of humanity that we're living in is so kind of good and bad in so many ways. And I think it's so vital that we continue to cling, hold on to these ancient wisdom practices like yoga. Because in a way, we're coming around in a great big circle. We feel we're so evolved, and yet the people that were back, 5,000-6,000 years ago, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, they knew what life was about. They knew what consciousness was about. We have become, basically, in my mind, the veil has become thicker and thicker and thicker. We've been in the matrix, We didn't know that we've been in the matrix. We've just been living our lives. And people are starting to wake up now. People are starting to wake up. And I think the next 25 years is going to be absolutely fascinating. Globally, spiritually, on a global consciousness level. I mean, really, really fascinating times that we're living in. And it's easy to get really pulled down with everything that's going on. There's a lot of negative stuff, as we know. But we should have something as your North Star. If it's not yoga, some philosophy, some art, some creativity, some beauty practice, something that you make, create, something that you can bring you back. I mean, poetry is a really beautiful one. Bring you back into your heart and your soul and the reality of the moment in these times is so, so, so important. So technology, is on my mind. Consciousness is on my mind. And I'm wishing Krishna Das is in London in July, and it came up a while ago. His tickets came up on sale into my inbox, and I was like, ooh, and I'm wishing I bought a ticket because they're sold out now. I would love to see him. So yeah, I just saw that email come through. What else is on my mind? I'm really excited how my kirtan journey is going to develop and evolve. I'm really excited about that. And again, it's proven to be a massive part of my practice. And I'm excited to share more about that. I haven't been able to share huge amounts about it because I've been in it. When you're really inside something in the moment, it's harder to share. It's easier to share on reflection. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of that. I'm going to share some of the mantras on here with you as well. And that's exciting. I feel like I've come a really, really long way with that as well. It's been a journey. That's going to be a whole new episode in itself. And so that's kind of where I am at the moment, in a good place, looking forward, taking time, taking grace. And there's a lot of movement. Like I said, we've got the retreat next year, we've got new offerings, we've got Hold Yourself, there's going to be more programs coming up, little mini courses as well. And I'm excited for all of it. I'm really excited for all of it, and continuing to deepen and explore this life-changing practice. Really, really incredible. And I'm hoping to get some new guests on. It takes quite a bit of work. Can be a bit of a challenge, but I have met this really lovely American lady who she is a physical therapist and a yoga teacher, and she teaches really accessible yoga. So she's been on retreat in Bali, so we're going to get a date in soon, and I think that's going to be a really amazing conversation. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if anyone has any ideas or suggestions about who they would like to have on, you can absolutely send it to me. But here we are. So thank you for listening for 30 episodes. There's lots more to come. Thank you for being here. And if you haven't already, please do share with someone you think might enjoy an episode. Review the podcast, follow it. All of those things are massively, massively helpful. And feel free to talk about it with anybody, share with anybody. And let's keep it going. And before we go, I want to share with you a sutra from the Radiant Sutras by Lauren Roche, 112 Gateways to the Yoga of Wonder and Delight, which is one of my absolute all-time favourite yoga books. Absolutely beautiful. And you can just dip in and out. And I just thought that this summed up our experience of yoga. Adorable one, sit or lie down, completely immobile, beholding the cloudless sky, or if there are clouds, the sky beyond. As vastness envelops you, the body vanishes, thoughts forget to come. In this moment, you are the nature of the great sky. Thank you so much for listening to the Be Still and Notice podcast. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and perhaps it even added something to your life. If you know someone that might benefit, please share this episode with them. And of course, a review would be so much appreciated. Please find all the information relating to this episode, including relevant links, in the show notes. And until next time, sending you so much love and light on your path to yoga.